Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Spider-Man Homecoming, aka Tom Holland Spider-Man 1. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, there's not really any in it, unless you kind of combine like a feather winged thing with a mecha, like a protogen, but not really. So, moving on to the good and the bad. So, I like in this one, so this movie stars Tom Holland, who's fantastic in it, his friend Ned, who I haven't seen anything else, so I'm just going to call him his character's name, Michael Keaton, who is fantastic, as always, in everything he does, whoever his love interest is, and then it also has Marissa Tomei as his Aunt May, and then it has, Tony Stark in this, so it has Robert Downey Jr., and then it also has a couple of brief, funny appearances of Zendaya. So, I like that they skip over the origin story with this movie. I also like that they don't even bother addressing the existence of Uncle Ben. Really, it's just yep, it's Aunt May. Don't worry about Uncle Ben. So I like that they were mixing it up a little bit. I also like that it had Bokeem Woodbine in it, and I like that they had the guy who was Shocker, and then something happened to him, and then Bokeem Woodbine is oh yeah. So I like that's a way to do things if you don't like how they were traditionally done in the comics. How they did that with him, that's the way to do it. Anywho, so Michael Keaton is absolutely fantastic in this movie. He's fantastic in basically every movie that he's in because he's a fantastic actor. For those of you who don't know and somehow found this video without knowing things about Batman, Michael Keaton played Batman in the 80s, early 90s time frame, and it's kind of seen as one of his more iconic roles. And then he played Birdman a few years ago in a movie that it got a lot of Oscar buzz, and it also was really interesting way that they shot. I don't know how many takes it took, but it was shot in such a way that I believe there was only two cuts in it, so there was only 3 segments in it, if I remember correctly. They may have just disguised more cuts, and that's just all I remember is 2 obvious cuts. But that was an interesting thing, and it was kind of a meta commentary on his time as Batman. And yes, now it's 2023, and he's playing Batman in the Flash universe, and that's fun. But in this one, he is playing the Vulture, who also is not necessarily caped, but he has an ability to fly, sort of, and is wearing a mask, and he's doing all things at night, so, I don't know, it kind of has a bit of Batman vibes to me, but in a fun way. So, in this one, I think that the real chemistry from Tom Holland is fantastic. He just does a super job. I love all the different Spider-Mans, the different takes on Spider-Mans, and this one is set shortly after the first appearance of him, which is in Captain America Civil War. So I like, again, you just skip all that, and then boom, now you're here. He's a neighborhood Spider-Man. And his chemistry really comes between him and Ned. Him and Ned are just awesome. I like that he has a friend in this one, and I thought they did a great job of that. Zendaya, with her random comments, are just this... The just dry humor nature of it is just fantastic. I loved that. And I liked the Vulture's character because I thought that they did a good job of showing the inadvertent ways in which you might create enemies that don't like you. So how, he got all these loans, hired all these people, got all these trucks, and then Tony Stark's people trying to do the right thing, trying to come in, trying to be helpful, screwed over this guy and his small business. And so, he made some choices in life after that because, fuck Tony Stark and all those people that did this to him. So I get it. I don't necessarily agree with turning to a life of crime because that happened, but I think that it's one of those things that he is one of the better Marvel Cinematic Universe villains because some of the times they aren't the best. Like Ronan the Accuser was kind of, but, Vulture, really good job with this. And just how... he's not being an evil guy to be evil. He is essentially a businessman that was but he made a choice to change how his business operated because of some setbacks because of Tony Stark and those people. Now, you think the damage control organization would have maybe subcontracted out to his company anyway, since he was already fucking there and had all that stuff together. But whatever, the circumstances being what they were, I liked his choice. I do think that Spider-Man got knocked out a little too easily. I get for the comedy play of it and to just kind of, cut to later, as opposed to him trying to be breaking out of the thing. Because you saw how easy it was once he was awake. But again, you saw how easy it was once he was awake. So him getting knocked out from that, that was kind of dumb. So especially because he got knocked out I think in Civil War. So I'm gonna just pretend that he had just gotten his superpowers and they were still slowly changing his DNA to make him more powerful because he doesn't get knocked out as easily in the subsequent movies, which is better in my opinion. So that being said, it's a fun time. CGI is good, the storyline is good, Iron Man is good in it, and they do a good job of highlighting, being the neighbor, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and I think he's the best representation of an actual high schooler because the Tobey Maguire ones, he was about to be graduating type of thing, so he was a bit more mature, and then the Andrew Garfield ones, I think he was already a college student, or it just felt very much like a college student time frame. Like he's been living in New York, so he has that. Whereas Tom Holland was the most like, hey, I'm 14, 15, whatever his age was. So I thought that was really good that they bumped back that timeline a bit to add to the youth factor, so that his life problems and where he's wanting to do and what he's wanting to do and how he's doing it just I think works in a different way than those two, which is what you want. You want to bring something new to the table, and I think that the movie did, and obviously Tom Holland is a fantastic actor, and man, that kid's workout routine, so jealous. Anywho, so I would definitely say to give this movie a shot. It's a fun time, and it's a grand old time. Good CGI, good pacing, good everything else. So that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.